President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. will issue an executive order making the wearing of face masks indoors voluntary, according to Tourism Secretary Christina Frasco. To tell us more, here's Zakarian Sarao reporting live. Zach?
Yes, Neil, in a palace briefing earlier today, Tourism Secretary Christina Frasco revealed that President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is set to issue an executive order making the wearing of face masks indoors voluntary, just barely a month after announcing the voluntary use of face masks outdoors. Frasco, however, clarified that face mask use will remain required in public transportation, and medical facilities. According to the Tourism Secretary, the decision was made during today's cabinet meeting, giving assurance that it was quote-unquote extensively discussed during the meeting of IATF with other cabinet members last week. Face masks will also be highly encouraged for unvaccinated individuals, persons with comorbidities, and senior citizens. This move came despite the detection and recorded local transmission of the highly immune evasive XBB Omicron subvariant and XBC variant of COVID-19. The XBB Omicron subvariant is pointed at as the main cause of the recent surge in Singapore, while the latter variant, XBC, which is a combination of the BA.2 sublineage of the Omicron and Delta variants, has been classified by the United Kingdom Health Security Agency as a variant under monitoring and investigation. Frasco, however, pointed out that the XBB Omicron subvariant and the XBC variant are not the very first variants of the pandemic, and that the Department of Health has been very aggressive in vaccination campaigns. Meanwhile, the DOH in a later statement said that it would await the official guidance issued by Malacanang. The agency explained that it has already, quote, illustrated all potential scenarios to the IATF during discussions concerning masking mandates, end quote. But it also clarified that the IATF is a collegial body that takes into consideration the concerns of all sectors. The agency did not explicitly say whether it was for or against the said mandate, but it reminded the public that more layers of protection means more protection against COVID-19. It also stressed the importance of assessing one's individual risk when removing their masks, especially amid untas and the Christmas holidays approaching. The DOH said that it expects increase in COVID-19 transmission during this time due to higher mobility. Back to you, Neil.
Zach, so based on your report, it's not yet clear whether or not DOH is for or against this new policy. So do we have any information about the points raised during the IATF meeting that led to this decision to make the face mask mandate optional indoors?
Well, as of now, Neil, apart from what was announced by Frasco during the palace briefing earlier today, no other details have been made available to the public regarding the discussion. It is also not yet clear who the DOH representative was during the cabinet meeting and why it was Frasco who announced the said change in policy instead of the health department.
Zach, when will this new face mask policy be effective?
Likewise, no details has been released on when the face mask policy will be effective.
I want to talk about Singapore, Zach, because Singapore is one of the countries that experienced a spike in cases due to the XBB subvariant. What can we take from their experience, at least, that we can use here, at least in terms of the face mask policy?
Well, for Singapore's part, while it is currently facing a surge in COVID-19 cases due to the XBB subvariant, it has actually yet to re-implement the mandatory use of face masks. But health ministers in Singapore said that it had not yet ruled out reimposing it depending if the situation gets worse.
Okay, Zach, so we'll wait for further developments on this story. Thank you. That's Zakarian Sarao reporting live.